Hello, Charlotte friends. Happy Thursday afternoon. I thought I'd give you another snow, ice, winter storm update from the one yesterday. This is the current satellite picture. Not a lot has changed in our thinking of this storm since yesterday. Basically, you can see it getting organized down here across Mexico and Texas. It's the beginning stages, and over the next 24 hours or so, as we go into Friday, this thing's going to move into the northern Gulf of Mexico, and then by Saturday, it'll be moving over across the northeastern Gulf of Mexico, and then by Sunday, it'll be moving up the Carolina coast. So it's going to be a fast-moving storm to get to the Gulf, then it's going to slow way down when it gets along the coastline. So that's kind of where it is right now. In terms of the setup, so basically what we have going on is currently there's this big area of high pressure that's over us right now. It's this big circle. That's what's keeping us cool, only in the 40s out today. Here comes another big area of high pressure, and this thing has a lot really cold, very dry air. It's basically going to move to our south, towards the south and east, anchor itself over Pennsylvania, and then start throwing cold air our direction. So if I step this forward through time, you can see that high pressure system, it kind of drifts towards the south and east. And eventually, by the time we get to Saturday, let me back this up just a frame or two, right about here. This is Saturday afternoon around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Here's that area of high pressure. The flow around it is clockwise like this. So basically, we're on the eastern side, so the flow is going to be coming around like that in this direction. So it's going to be pumping cold, dry air across our area. Meanwhile, there's our storm system right along the Gulf Coast in central Louisiana, and it's just moving eastward like this. The flow around this thing is counterclockwise and starts throwing moisture over that very, very cold air mass. So I know everybody keeps asking me about how much snow we're going to get, how much ice are we going to get, are we going to get rain? And so much of this has to do with how much cold air comes in from the north and how much warm air comes in from the south. And the two will kind of overrun, as we call it. The cold air is moving under it, the warm air is going over top. And depending on how warm it gets and how cold it stays, will determine how much snow and or ice we get. And the bottom line is we just don't know right now. This shows you kind of the that same model, but just zoomed in with precipitation type. So it looks like precipitation will start sometime late in the day on Saturday after dark. And again, don't look at the green here and think, oh, this is rain or just this is snow. Because if I click on this and zoom in, basically this is going to show us what the temperature in the atmosphere is like. Anywhere to the left of this blue line, so anything over here is below freezing. Anything to the right over here is above freezing. So basically up in the cloud, it's below freezing, below freezing, below freezing. Then it gets right to freezing, kind of stays right along freezing there, and right down towards the surface. But as time goes on, what you'll see that happens, what you'll see happens is a much broader area of snow develops, and then eventually some warm air mixes in, and you see all this ice that tends to develop. So if I click on Charlotte again, you'll see why it looks this way. So basically, again, this blue line is freezing. So anything left over here is colder than freezing, sub-freezing. Anything over here is above. So basically, it's below freezing, but then it gets right to freezing here, maybe just a hair above freezing. Then it gets cold again and drops way below freezing near the ground. So what happens is the snowflakes come down here, and then they kind of melt a little bit, and then they refreeze, and that's how you get sleet. So basically, all sleet is snowflakes that are falling. They hit that little bit of warm air, they melt, and then they fall into cold air again, and they refreeze, and they fall as ice pellets. So that's what will really control how much frozen precipitation we get. This shows you a better perspective, I think. It's a different model, but it shows you the extent that we're talking about. So here's when precipitation starts, sometime overnight Saturday into Sunday. You can see a broad shield of snow, and then you can see these pinks and purples are ice. So Charlotte's right in here. So this is the freezing rain, this is sleet and snow, and then this is mostly snow in the mountains. And you see that just persists through the duration of the storm. So that's why the totals are so difficult. And this is why you'll see the Weather Service says, we can get up 12 to 18 inches of snow. It is possible if none of this switches over, but that seems pretty unlikely. But that's kind of the extreme on the right. Do we think this is going to change over to all rain? At least right now, the models don't show this. So I would say that changing to all rain looks really low as well. What it looks like is it's just going to keep shifting between snow and sleet. We might get several hours of snow, then we might get 6-8 hours of sleet, and then it might go back to snow, something like that. So that makes the totals really, really difficult. So when you look, this is what the European model shows. This is what everybody usually goes to. And notice it shows these huge totals. Charlotte 13 inches, Hickory in these areas 16, 18, 20 inches of snow. This is if it would all fall as snow, how much we would get. But again, that looks very unlikely, at least in the Charlotte area. I think when you get into the mountains, these folks up here are going to see 2 feet of snow, maybe even 3 feet of snow in some of the more extreme places. But for our area, again, you can see kind of we're on the edge of the very heavy precipitation in terms of snow and ice. So what's likely to happen is we'll start off with some snow, then we'll mix some sleet in. It might sleet for 8, 10, 12 hours. And if we got all snow, it might be, 1 to 2 feet of snow here in Charlotte. But if you mix a bunch of sleet in, that'll cut that total way down to maybe only 3 or 4 or 5 inches of snow / sleet. So it's messy either way. So don't focus on the totals. I know everybody wants to know, are we going to get 8 inches of snow, 10 inches of snow? And that's just not how this storm is going to be. It's going to be a mix of snow, sleet, and we might even get a little freezing rain thrown on top of that. And just to show you the difference, this is the American model, but all of its different runs. These are called ensembles. You can see this is snowfall totals for Charlotte. You can see I clicked in there. So the average is about 5 inches of snow, right? But you see some of these go up to 9 and 10 inches of snow, but then some of them are down here 1 or 2 inches of snow. So the average is like 5. And again, that's because there's a lot of sleet mixing in and freezing precipitation that's not snow. So don't look at this and be like, oh, we're only going to get 2 or 3 inches of snow. We very well might just get that, but we might have 12 hours of where it's sleeting. So that can make things really, really messy is the idea. There's another set of models that are just starting to come into line. These only do kind of the near-term forecast. And this is total snowfall again from these models. You can see some of these upper ones are, 12, 13 inches. That's assuming, we don't change over to sleet or freezing rain. Then you see some of these are down here around 1 inch or 2 of snow. So that's a possibility. Again, the average with this model is, again, right around 5 inches or so of snowfall. So again, when you see these totals, you just got to be very, very mindful that again, you're going to see totals all over the place. I've already seen them all over the internet. Some places 1 foot or more of snow. Some people are saying 1 to 4 inches of snow. People keep asking me, why are they all over the place? Again, anytime you mix a little bit of ice in, it really changes the totals. I personally don't think we're going to switch to complete rain. I think that's pretty unlikely. It's not a 0 chance, but I think it's a pretty low chance. The models have been really consistent throughout this event, so we'll just have to see what happens. Is something like this possible? It is possible. I think, Charlotte, we could see 8 or 10 inches of snow, upwards of 1 foot of snow, but that would take a lot more frozen precipitation, a lot more snow and a lot less sleet. So it really depends on how much sleet mixes in, how much ice mixes in. The more ice, the less snow, and that's what this is looking like. But I would agree with what the Weather Service is saying, that this is going to be a historic storm somewhere. Even if Charlotte doesn't get hit by huge amounts of snow and ice, somewhere North Carolina is going to see 1, 2, maybe even 3 feet of snow in some of these places. So it's going to go down as one of the bigger storms we've ever seen in December across our state. So time now to prepare. So just be aware of what's coming. And again, this is going to be a long duration event. It's going to start Saturday, late night Saturday. This is all day Sunday, snow, sleet, freezing rain. Overnight into Sunday night, it'll kind of calm down a little bit. But then it looks like there's another wave going to move through on Monday, and we could see some snow on the backside of this system. I'm going to show you that really quickly. Get out of this. So there's all of our main snow. But you can see on Monday, more snow moves through. This is Monday at like 7, 8 in the morning. So Monday could actually be a snowy day as well. We might add a couple of inches of snow on the backside of the storm system. So we'll have to see. So stay tuned. I'll have another update tomorrow for you, and the models will hopefully hone in a little bit more, and we'll be able to fine-tune where the ice is going to be. But this is one of those cases where it's so close, honestly, it's going to be pretty much going right until it starts precipitating before we know exactly what's going to fall and where. So happy Thursday. I will see you all tomorrow with another update on this big storm. So I'll see you all later.